The only thing I'm going to show us from the first really 5 or 10 minutes is just following Rammer for the first five or so. Do or dare, don't worry about that. So that stun is the only stun we see in lane. Now I'm not going to follow Rammer here, we're just going to speed it up. I'm not going to follow Rammer to shit on the guy. This isn't actually about Rammer at all. What happens with this Sven is that we never do the combo. We never do the Stormhammer into roll on the Shaman and just fuck him up, right? Opportunity was there briefly, we just didn't use roll, whatever, we'll do it again, but we don't do it again. So what happens here at 2 minutes is Rammer leaves the lane and controls Rune. And then he does that at 4 and he does that at 5 and he never stays in lane. Now this is symptomatic, this whole process is symptomatic of a lack of understanding and communication, like clear, explicit communication about what needs to happen and what's supposed to happen. So what should happen with the Sven and the ES is what I talked about. This Sven pick is supposed to combo with the ES. We literally never do the combo. Not once in lane. Now this is symptomatic for Vader, like of what happens. So I've talked to you about being explicit and clear with your lane partner. In that circumstance, it was Legend, but it's the same kind of scenario. You know, playing with the sub, so the guy's not completely in tune with the team. Expected. This is what's going to keep happening, even with a regular player, though. If you guys aren't clear and explicit. So in this circumstance, Rammer doesn't understand the win condition of your lane and what he's supposed to do in the moment. So it's as clear as, alright, we're just going to try to kill the Shaman, you stun, and I'll follow up. That is as simple as it needs to be. That's our win con. Like, it's not complicated, it's just a simple thing that needs to happen. This should actually be like talked about in draft, right? This is actually something that should be made clear in draft. You pick the hero for a purpose, for a role. So one example is the Sven. The second example is the Ember. Now we did talk about the Ember in post-match and how we really wanted a hero that enabled the early fights top. And Ember was probably too greedy for that. Could have worked out maybe, but probably too greedy for that. So I'm getting at, it's all about the communication, you know? If we were to communicate to mid, who's got, you know, more autonomy over his pick than other roles, you know, you give them the option, this is the role we need you to fulfill, what's the best hero that you think for the role? What fulfills that, right? Instead what we got is, alright, what hero do you want mid? And it's like, alright, I want Ember. Well, shit, obviously. Like, great hero, maybe a little slightly greedy, but whatever, it's like, well, what hero do you want? Yeah, I want this hero, you know? Samael, you know, you listen to the guy, you know, what do you want, Samael? Yeah, I want the hero that I can have absolute maximum impact in. If you say, give me a role, then it's much easier to draft around. Now we're back on the slides, and it's to kind of set up this game. In place of lots of examples, we're going to talk in a bit of generalities. Because we just kind of play bad this game individually overall. So it's more about the strategy behind it. So this is the Radiant default approach and kind of what we try to do. We do some Radiant defensive, but pretty quickly that gives way to not being able to split push and just having to take the team fight, and we don't win the team fights, obviously. So in here you have 4 or 5 heroes top pushing this out, and maybe the AM bottom. And we're going to look at Dire, what Dire played here. So this is true Dire aggression, right? Somewhere within the 10-20 minute mark, they put the 4 heroes here. They got the Slark, who card counters an AM bot, taking up all this space, killing anybody who enters. So it's very typical, like, of what a good team should try to do in Dire. This is why this match was good experience for us, and we don't respond correctly. So what we should try to do, our options when we're against this as Radiant, are to commit hard with 5 heroes and win these fights, or punish this solo hero. We kind of do neither. We lose this matchup and we lose this matchup. We lose the 4v4, we lose the 1v1. And we don't adapt. We don't, chuck the 5 heroes top or chuck the 5 heroes bottom, even if we were really defensive, didn't want to fight. And it really just bites us in the ass. What I'm going to show you from this game are 2 examples of little fights. So the first one, we get picked off on the Earth Spirit. That's kind of whatever. It's actually not too bad for us. They overcommit. We massively fuck up our spells there, so we blow our load on the one thing, whereas we could have gotten an easy 2 kills, maybe more, and we could have TP'd the AM in a timely fashion. And then with these 2 heroes would be dead, we probably could have been looking at a team wipe. Like, being optimistic, maybe we trade, 4 for 2 in our favour. But on the AM, we're just not looking for it at all. There were kind of maybe 3 around this time, 3 in 3 minutes roughly. They were just not like clear, obvious things, but we got to be looking for it. So yeah, that's just a thematic illustration. Now there's only one little bit of footage that I want to show you with the AM directly, and that's this. So you can clearly see the dynamic at play. There is the hunted and the hunter. And right now you're the hunted. Now what we're about to see is really fucking bad. So you're low HP, which means you can't contribute to top. Even the Slark considered TPing there, right? But you're also not contributing on the AM with lane pressure either. So I just wanted to show the whole thing in normal speed. This is probably the worst shit I've ever seen in my life from a carry, certainly from you, Cam. If I saw an AM that did this in a pub, I would probably consider abandoning, and I'm not exaggerating there, but I am known to rage a little bit here and there. Yeah, you're far better than that, fam. So that's symptomatic of the whole thing, what's happening. What we talked about before, and what we're going to talk about next, is what we do instead of that. There's 3 stages of Arteezy's game, and I'm going to take you through each one with a little bit of footage. Now the first step 1 is aggro tri-laning. Now what he does with this creep block, I want you to look at here. He lets one go. I'm going to show you like when he actually does let it go real quick. He lets one go, and this means it'll get focused for a period of time and take more damage, and the lane is going to push back to him really quick. So this is like a way to ensure you don't even need the first pull. It's just going to push back into it really nicely. Second, obviously, this is a tri-lane. Tri-lanes are really good right now. This ensures that he gets a decent amount of CS if the tri-lane works out. It's much safer in a tri-lane with heroes around him. It can be more volatile in other times, but if your team's good, you can control the situation. The other thing to say about a tri-lane is if the enemy team tri-lanes in response to you, the likelihood is that their carry will suffer just as much as your carry. Now there is potential for AM to get behind, but if the enemy carry is slowed down, often that means the enemy win condition is slowed down, which opens the look at this space, man, which opens the amount of time you have, which opens your window, extends your window to get farmed. So it might delay it a little bit, might delay it by 2-3 minutes on your Battle Fury timing, maybe 4-5, but the time where you can use that effectively maybe increases by 5 minutes, and that period is worth a trade. Step number 2, immediately post lanes. this really awkward period, the hump between your safe laning stage finishing and you completing your Battle Fury timing. So we're still in the aggro try phase, sometimes crit roams a little bit, it's fine, but basic laning stage is holding together. Now that's going to change is if we fast forward a little bit, some aggression under tower, this is going to generate some TPs, rainbow TPs right there. Now there's 4 heroes here, it's no longer safe. So Arteezy has effectively, if we follow him here, has effectively made space for himself. I'm just going to watch him fast forward. So I really want to emphasize he's not using TP. If he uses TP, then enemy can just TP and follow him. But if he just goes here quickly with Blink and takes the free farm, he's now he's now still got options. If the enemy jumps for him, he's still got options. Now the second, this is like quite obvious, right? Dodge the enemy's aim, split push his aim, quite obvious. What the important thing is, you see what he did there? Did exactly what I said. Force rotation, and now he's TP'd. The second thing is not obvious, and the second thing, what we're seeing right now, is what should have happened with our AM in our game. So what happens when Dire have heroes bottom? Alright, that's fine. I'm going to play top. My team is around me. I can't do that. I'm AM. Wrong. You can do that. And in this period of the game, you probably should do that. We're going to look at the Radiant farming zones now, in terms of where Arteezy plays and where Cam plays. So this is a graph in my team you've all seen. We're just going to apply it to the game. So obviously, Radiant perspective, Dire base here for the most unsafe. Radiant base immediate area is the safest. So with Cam, you played here. So 3 pretty dangerous, 2 pretty dangerous. Really, this is a 2.5, and here this is a 1.5. If I was to remake the graphic, that's what I'd say. So what Arteezy is doing is he's actually deliberately taking the safer farm, and anytime the enemy were to prevent him there, he would go bot, force a reaction, and then immediately default to top. He would walk bot, get a reaction, make them TP to him, and then TP to the safe zone. So the core concept is default farming in safe zone when he does not have Battle Fury. When he does have Battle Fury, immediate change. We'll see that. And when he's feeling strong with AM, what you can and should look to do is take the most dangerous farm possible. Sometimes it'll be here, sometimes it'll be here. So because Arteezy's team is really good, they want to stay active. So Arteezy doesn't need them right here, but he's got the team has got him into this position, and they're continuing to go and look to create pressure elsewhere. So they'll go look for a pick mid, they'll go look to defend bottom, get a kill on Jug. Now I'm pretty sure Usrog saw this and said, no, this is not okay. And that's why Jug can no longer TP during Omnislash. Anyway, what we're looking at really is Arteezy and where he's playing, right? This is the safe zone. He's what, K.5 to his Demon Edge. Force rotation top, yep, that's fine. Continuing to play the safe zone while his team makes space. This is how it's done. This is his default position. Action middle, alright, I'm safe to go push the lane. Maximum pressure when you can. So just fast forwarding until he gets his Battle Fury, and then that's going to trigger the next stage. Alright, there we go. So I picked up right where we left off. I haven't egregiously edited. My new favorite word at the moment, egregious. This is the moment Arteezy gets his Battle Fury. He changes the position in the map in which he farms. He's gone from the top side to the bottom side. Now what did I say about this side? This is more dangerous, but it's also more open. I like to call it the fat side because it's fat with space. That's what we're seeing. VG have taken Roshan this time, but that's, whatever. VG don't really have the team fight to contest, so, whatever. Picked off the hero that comes into his lane, continues to play this space as aggressively as he can. Every time something happens on the map, he's playing as aggressive as he can. And obviously, that aggression only gets bigger with items. So he's also looking to cut, right? Enemy commits heroes here. He doesn't want to back off and switch now. He wants to continue to cut in this area. So this is super high level, super advanced. You need incredible game sense to pull this off, which is why RTZ, is the kind of guy we're looking at. So see there, he's only really moving to cut waves, siege of tier 2, but this is what you want when you actually have got your timing. And it's the difference between having your timing and not having your timing. So if I'm to bring this back to your game, Cam, you basically tried to skip stage 2, right? You tried to skip that stage where you actually have to play safe and get your Battle Fury, or get your item that enables you to play aggressively and take the fat side farm. Against Slark, that could have been Battle Fury into 4 stuff, if you needed to do that like as early as possible. It could have been whatever, but not doing that, not having the patience, and trying to play bottom initially really bit you in the ass. It was really quite damaging. So it's quite a simple adaptation, right? This isn't actually that difficult. It's not that complicated. It's just about one foot in front of the other.